I just saw Broadway's new horror play, Grey House, and I'm gonna tell you what my thoughts on it were. The premise of Grey House is that it follows this couple that crashed their car by hitting a deer in the middle of this big snowstorm, and they seek refuge in a cabin, and the cabin has some strange inhabitants. That is all I can say in terms of the plotline, because it seems unethical to reveal what else happens in this house. So how scary is Grey House? I would say it is a spooky and eerie show. They definitely work hard to set that tone. But it is also very comedic, which I know a lot of audience members have been surprised by. To be honest, it kind of took me out of some of the moments, but this definitely feels more like a PG-13 horror rather than the rated R horror that a lot of people think they're getting themselves into with this. And I've heard many complaints about the marketing being misleading because of this. There is some gore towards the end, there is some vomiting on stage, there is just some spooky imagery that the more you look at it, you kind of start to squirm. I would say the scariest part, if you want to be warned, is towards the end of the show when you see Henry get on the table. Know to be afraid. This show is getting incredibly mixed reactions thus far, and I think that is partly because this show feels like it is giving you a puzzle. You have to work yourself to solve it, but even once you solve it, there's gonna be some pieces missing, and you have to fill it in yourself. I would say you will come out of this knowing 60 to 80% of what you just saw and understanding it, and you'll have to take the time afterwards to work it out with yourself. I made an entire study guide about this show, and there's still stuff I'm confused on. This is a thoroughly entertaining one-act show, but I will say I do feel like there are some scenes in it that are a little bit drawn out that instead could be replaced with giving us answers, but that is just my opinion. In terms of the cast, the one thing I feel like I was misled on was Laurie Metcalf's role in the production. I know she's been advertised as the headliner, but she honestly got way less stage time than I was expecting, and I feel like she was underutilized as a performer, and I wanted more out of her character, but I'm sad to say that I feel like even if her character were not in some scenes, the plot of the show would have been the same. If anything, Tatiana's character Max is probably the protagonist or lead of the show if you have to give that title to anyone. I thought the children were fantastic in this show. They worked very coherently as an ensemble, and they were just very clean. Overall, I do think the show is fun. I like what it was trying to do, and I've been thinking about the premise since I saw it. It's very intriguing, but I almost wanted more out of it, just answer-wise, just book-wise. But I do think it's a fun night out of the theater, and I'm curious to see what happens, because I saw they're only running till September as of right now, so I really want to see what everyone else thinks. Please let me know.